If a DOT inspector ever asks you a question and it seems random, it's not random. And how you answer that question can change the entire inspection. And here's the thing, most truckers don't even know why that question was asked in the first place. If you've ever been stopped or pulled over by DOT for a DOT inspection and you thought, why are they even asking me this? This video is for you, because today I'm going to explain why DOT inspectors ask certain questions, what we're actually listening for, and how some truckers unintentionally make inspections longer and more grueling than they need to be. I want you to know that this is not about tricking you. This is about genuinely helping you understand the process. For those of you new here, my name is Cole. I'm a state DOT cop, and this channel exists for pretty much one main reason: to help truckers stay compliant, avoid violations, and stay rolling. I'm never here to bash drivers, and in fact, I work with drivers every single day and love it. And what I'm about to share with you today comes directly from real roadside inspections. If this kind of behind the scenes DOT information helps you out, go ahead, hit that like button. It really does help the channel and this video reach more truckers that need to see it. And if you want real DOT inspection knowledge straight from the source, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Alright, so here's the first thing every trucker needs to understand. DOT inspectors don't just ask questions just to make conversation. And yes, sometimes we really do want to know, hey, how's your day going? How is everything? But again, intertwined within those questions, there are reasons for why we ask questions. Every question has a purpose. Sometimes that purpose is safety, sometimes that purpose is compliance, and sometimes it's simply to understand the situation that you may be in. But almost always, it's connected to something that we are observing or we're trying to observe. Let me explain what I mean. One of the most common questions truckers get asked, and I mean one of the most staple questions, is the question, where are you coming from? A lot of drivers out there think that that question is absolutely pointless. And I'm here to tell you it's not pointless, and we do ask it for a reason, and I'm about to tell you why. That question helps us to understand your hours of service, your log consistency, and whether or not things match up. Also, we just need to ask you that question because in our inspect program, we have to know where you're coming from and where you're going to. So it's literally needed by the program. So for example, if you tell me that, you just started your shift, but your log shows otherwise, now we may need to dig a little bit deeper. Not because you're in trouble, but because in that moment, something doesn't really line up. This is where inspections usually either stay short and smooth or they start expanding to longer times. Here's what many truckers do get wrong, and I don't mean all, but many of them. A lot of truckers out there start feeling that all these questions are like accusations, or us DOT cops or just cops in general are trying to make you seem guilty. Or something that I hear all the time is, I'm not going to incriminate myself. And it's really not about self-incrimination here. If I ask you where you're going or where you're coming from, again, that's information needed for our inspection process. So I hope that can help you understand that a little bit better. All of these questions are just information gathering. But when drivers get like super defensive, or they start over-explaining, or they get really negatively sarcastic, that is in fact where, again, inspections can slow down, because now we have to try to decipher, okay, is this person being serious? Are they not serious? Are they lying or just messing with us? Let me ask you this real quick. If you were out there doing your job and someone got instantly defensive over a super basic question that you're required to ask, wouldn't that make you want to look closer or make you really wonder, why is this person being like this? Moving on to another question that some inspectors do ask, and it's that, do you know why I stopped you? Now, me personally, I do not do this. This isn't like a riddle, take a guess why I stopped you. I don't do this, but many people out there do this. And this question makes a lot of truckers or drivers in general pretty nervous. And I completely get why, but it is not a trap. That question many times helps officers understand awareness. Were you aware of a light out? Were you aware of a lane violation? Were you aware that something mechanical was wrong on your truck? Sometimes drivers answer honestly and say, no, I'm honestly not sure. And here's the thing, that's literally fine. The problem is when drivers start guessing, because guessing often turns into just admitting stuff that either someone would never see or something that was not even on someone's radar. And I'm not saying to hide things, I'm just saying don't guess. If you know why they stopped you, say why you think they stopped you. If you don't, just say you don't know. Simple. That right there can save you some time and some nervousness and hang up. Honesty helps you more than anything else out there. Here's something some drivers don't always realize. Honesty does not hurt you during a DOT inspection. It actually helps you, but wait, because I'm going to tell you why. When you answer truthfully, the inspector gathers clarity a lot faster, which usually leads to a shorter and smoother DOT inspection. Whenever answers are vague, unclear, or defensive, it really can force us to just ask more questions to get clarification, because we're really trying to confirm what is actually going on. So honesty is not about confessing guilt like many people feel it is. It's about clarity, and like I say, clarity saves time. Here's just a little bonus insider for you, and this, I'm going to tell you a question that you can be thrown off guard by, but I ask it and many inspectors ask it a lot of times, and a lot of drivers get thrown off by it. I always ask drivers, when was the last time you did a vehicle inspection? And when I say this, a lot of drivers usually stumble or fumble. And again, that's not bad because one, they're thrown off, they're caught off guard, and they're not sure if I mean just a pre-trip or like a full inspection of their vehicle. When I ask this question, I'm asking about a full inspection of this vehicle. So I know some people that are owner operators, every couple weeks, they go through the full truck underneath and everything. Like what would be our level 1, they do their version of that. So I may ask that to drivers sometimes and it really throws them off. So when drivers can confidently tell me that they check their vehicle every, at least once a week, a full check underneath and everything, and they do pre-trips every time before they drive the truck, and then I have more of an understanding of what I can expect. Now, it's not always accurate because I've done inspections on some people that do pre-trip and they do those full inspections on their vehicles every week or a couple times a month, but I still find things. But how the initial response goes to the answering of that question really helps my mindset with how the inspection possibly could be going. So this may or may not be a subtle reminder to keep doing your pre-trips and do full vehicle inspections when you can. And this next part we're going to talk about is where many inspections do change direction drastically, because there's one type of answer out there that almost guarantees more questions and more deeper looks. And it's not what you think. Over answering is one of the biggest mistakes that I see. A simple small question turns into a long drawn out explanation that goes back years long. And now some people are just chatting about things that are not even on their radar. Again, this isn't about hiding anything. It's really just about answering the question that was asked clearly and honestly. A lot of times, the more extra information that you add is the more extra places a DOT inspection can go, or more directions a DOT inspection can go. Quick real life example, I saw a truck last week and I asked the driver, hey, did you happen to do a pre-trip? Because there were a few small things that should have been caught on a pre-trip. And that driver said to me, yes, I always do a pre-trip. I may have rushed it a little bit earlier this morning, like I did it in like 2 minutes, but I know my truck, everything should have been fine. And that right there, him saying that he rushed it and his pre-trip was about 2 minutes or less, got me thinking, I wonder what else is missed. Because if I found all these tiny violations with his 2-minute pre-trip, that obviously is not enough time for that person to get a proper pre-trip done. I looked around a little bit more and I found a couple more violations, and that's without being petty. Those things were just there. So that's a prime example of, again, he's not hiding anything, but he just says a little bit too much and it causes me or other inspectors to think, okay, let me really try to pay attention here, because if someone did a 2-minute pre-trip, I wonder what else could be wrong. And how I always say it, there's no violation to get if there's not one there. So many people out there will say, you DOT inspectors will always find something. And again, if there's nothing there, there's nothing to find. So remember that. I'm telling you, most DOT inspectors are not out there looking to just burn drivers. We're looking to make sure that the driver is safe, the truck is safe, and everything is compliant. But communication does matter. How you say things, that does matter. Your attitude matters. And no, not emotionally, but practically. I know one thing that I do personally as a DOT inspector. I will have full-blown conversations with the drivers that I deal with, or some of them at least. And these are usually to help to calm the driver's nerves. I can tell sometimes, like if someone says this is their first DOT inspection, I can tell they're very nervous. Sometimes they're, shaky. They want to ask questions, but they're scared because they don't know what to expect. I purposely make sure to just shoot the stuff with them. I ask them about life, how long they've been driving, and I've noticed nerves go way down from that. So to a point that I made earlier in the video, yes, sometimes we can just talk to you, but many times it's just general information gathering, which is not always a bad thing, and it's not always used for bad things. Here's something I want you to think about the next time you get stopped. So DOT inspections aren't just about paperwork and equipment. They're about interaction. And truckers who understand that usually have way smoother interactions. So the next time a DOT inspector asks you what feels like a completely random question, remember, there's usually a reason. Sometimes not, sometimes they're just talking, but there's usually a reason. Just stay calm, answer honestly, and don't overthink it. That right there alone can save you loads of time. If this helps you understand DOT inspections and the interaction portion of it a little bit better, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Drop a comment below letting me know what is the most common question that you are asked by DOT inspectors whenever you're getting inspected or when you go through a weigh station. I have a ton more videos coming that break down DOT inspections from the inspector side, not the rumor mill. As always, stay safe, keep rolling.